Hi, my name is Allie Heath. Welcome to my mini masterclass. I focused on the routine that helped me with my diagnostic teaching foundation, though I did get help from some other foundations of appropriate learning environment, positive relationships, and clear learning objectives. All of these foundations really just mesh and work so well together that even though I am talking about diagnostic teaching, the other foundations do play a role in them. So, for diagnostic teaching, why it is so important is for the environment to be a good learning environment, students must feel confident to be able to learn. If they feel like they can't learn, they are just going to shut down and not try to do any of the work. So, we need to make a comfortable environment so that they can feel confident in their learning. Teachers must pivot when students do not understand. So I've been doing the FIST to 5, so more throughout my notes, so that the students can tell me immediately how they're feeling about the questions and or just doing a quick exit ticket so that I can get a gauge at where they are currently. And then back to the environment. So it needs to be inviting for students to feel that they can be honest with how they are feeling during their learning. So that goes with the appropriate environment and those positive relationships that I built at the beginning of the year. If students don't feel comfortable to tell their teacher they don't know the answer or that they're not asking questions, then it's harder for the teacher to recognize when they need to reteach. I feel like working with the positive relationships this year has really gotten my students to ask me more questions and just be honest and upfront with me when they just need to be like, hold on, I need to look at that a little more. Hey, Ms. Heath, can you slow down? Can we go over a question like this? And I'm getting more ownership and feedback, which is great. And I think that says a lot about the environment and the relationships, but it helps me with my diagnostic teaching when they're being honest with me. So, one of the biggest things that I struggled with diagnostic teaching is the mindset of time. I never felt like I had enough time to do anything, especially go and reteach something that I already retaught or had already taught. So I know that reteaching is important, but sometimes it just felt like there was not enough time, especially with those district and state deadlines. So something I did to help me have more of a mindset to be able to do this was when I made my calendar and when I started making my plans, I planned time for flexible hours so that in my schedule I could account for this. It made me not feel as stressed because I already had some time worked out to review some of those concepts. And I didn't plan what concepts at the beginning of the unit. That was just going to come from throughout where I saw fit. I also prepared some resources in my back pocket so that when I am in the middle of a lesson and they're not understanding it at all, I already had something that I could go back to go over and ask them questions for. So that mindset of time, two things that I did was plan for extra time just throughout the unit, as well as preparing resources beforehand. So how that looks like in my routine. So utilizing the clear learning objectives. So making the more that I did this, students were starting to really ask more about the objective and start to understand why it was important. So throughout the notes and even after the notes, for sure, I would ask FIST to 5. So from 0 to 5, how are you feeling about today's lesson? And so right there, I can automatically see if students are ready for the practice or if they need some more teaching opportunities to learn. So depending on their answer, I would give them the practice, or if we needed some more problems, I would go to those review back pocket questions that I was talking about earlier and just do some more problems with them. So sometimes this was an online format, sometimes on like Wayground or Kahoot, sometimes formative, so I could see their writing and their scratch work. Sometimes I just gave them a scratch sheet of paper, like a half sheet, and would put a problem on the board. or I would make them go around to the whiteboards around my room and work in groups. So what made this the easiest for me was that I didn't have to have anything printed. The Wayground, yes, was more prepared, but when you just put a problem on the board or find something to do, it gave me less stress because I didn't have to make the copies, I didn't have to post anything on Schoology. It was just, okay, everyone, let's step back and let's try this problem here. And so giving me these easy check-ins and easy problems to go over really allowed me to better my diagnostic teaching. So from doing that, the impact I saw was more student confidence. They are wanting to solve problems and they're not afraid to try the problems more than just not even starting it because they're scared they're going to mess up. I have more engagement. So with that clear learning objective as well, they're able to really think if they're going to be successful or if they need more practice. And the engagement as well, they're becoming able to pinpoint their struggle instead of just saying, I don't know how to do anything. The objective is helping them make like, I don't know how to do this part of the problem. Like, once I distribute, then what do I do? So they're able to kind of pinpoint that more, which is that engagement in the learning as well as the ownership. Knowing that this is what they're feeling successful on. I did see an increase in my test scores and students on the unit tests that I was making. And students are also coming to tutoring more to see what they did do wrong on the test and to see what they can fix. Also, the impact on the teacher. So my growth mindset on time, I think, really has changed this year. And I do feel like I can make more time just in the beginning, making those plans to do so. And I have had less stress about reteaching because I have planned ahead these small things every day so that I can hit these, not even just warm-ups, but throughout the learning, these questions that I can go over if and when students are needing more reteach. Thank you. I hope this helped you with some diagnostic teaching.